Hi there! My name is Kathleen, and this is the story of how I ended up in a crazy marriage contest. Before we continue, please click like and subscribe. Do you have someone in your life who is just always one step ahead of you, and it's really annoying? Well, I do. My twin sister and my arch nemesis, Jessica. She had to one-up me on everything, even our birth. I was born 3 minutes earlier, loser! Height, hair, clothes. She wanted to beat me at it all. If I wanted to dress up as Ariel for Halloween, Jessica would steal the costume the night before. Then she would wear it right in front of me. You stole my costume! Well, you stole my chance to be an only child. She was the worst. In the 7th grade, I waited for Valentine's Day to ask out this really cute guy in my class, Sam. As I was walking up to him at the bleachers to give him the card I'd made, I suddenly stopped in shock. He was busy staring at Jessica, who was standing on top of the cheerleading pyramid and holding up a banner that said, "You suck less than the rest, Sam. Be the bread to my jam." He ran up to her and they kissed. With furious tears, I ripped my card and stormed off. On our 18th birthday, Jessica crossed all her limits. I was so excited for my party, but when I came out, all the signs had changed. They no longer said happy birthday Jess and Kathy. They said, congratulations Jessica. What? Jessica arrived in a glittering red gown. No one was even looking at me. Jessica, what did you do to my party? I'm valedictorian. I can speak 5 languages, and I'm traveling the world right after high school. I'm the better twin, so I get a party. Honestly, I was so angry because at that moment, I realized she really was better than me. 5 languages? Wow! I could only speak in my mother tongue. If I wanted to be the better twin, I had to be as brilliant as she was. But how? I was sitting alone, thinking and crying, when my friend Raj came up to me. He came to say goodbye because he was planning to return to his hometown in India. When I asked him why he was going back, he looked very sad. My family wants to arrange my marriage to some girl I don't even know. The moment Raj said the word marriage, I had an incredible idea. What if I married him and went to India? Then I could start traveling before Jessica. I could even learn their language. So I told Raj my idea. It would solve his problem of marrying a stranger, and I could finally become the better twin. Raj looked confused. But how will you explain all this to your parents? Not a problem. I don't have to tell them everything. I'll just say that I'm going to visit you in India. And that's how Raj became the first guy I married. I told my family I was going to travel to India with my friend, and Jessica literally burned with jealousy. Ha! I left home the day after and hopped on a plane with Raj. I was ready to start my international adventures. I married Raj in a traditional Indian dress, met his parents and relatives, and ate lots of amazing Indian food. I studied Hindi day and night. It was really hard to learn another script, but the result was so rewarding. When I could actually talk to the locals and hold my own in the city, I knew it was time to move on to a new destination. A few months after my marriage, I met the perfect person, Rodrigo. Rodrigo was a Mexican tourist in India, and I bumped into him in a supermarket one day. For him, it was love at first sight. Latin people must be very passionate because when I asked him to marry me in a week, he said yes. So I ended my marriage to Raj and went off to Mexico with my new husband, Rodrigo. I worked hard on learning Spanish, and it was way easier than Hindi. I could speak in fluent sentences in only 2 months. Rodrigo was such a caring and sweet person, and after 2 months of marriage, he took me to a romantic dinner and told me he loved me. He was so charming that I almost fell in love with him. But I had to keep my eyes on my objective: travel the world and learn more languages than Jessica. So I looked into his eyes and said, "Our marriage ends tonight." I think I broke his heart because he started bawling like a baby. Then he kicked me out of his home. Now I was all alone with no money in Mexico. I started walking aimlessly down the streets, feeling scared and guilty. I almost thought of giving up my crazy plan to travel the world and just go home. Just then, a guy walked up to me and asked me why I was crying. And that's how I met Pierre, my 3rd husband. Pierre was from Paris, and he was for sure one of the most handsome guys I'd ever met. He was also really kind and offered me a warm meal and a place to stay. When he asked me what I was doing here, I decided to tell him the plain hard truth. I need to marry someone to travel with. Are you okay with that? At first, Pierre seemed taken aback by my idea, and then he shrugged. My mom is always complaining that I've never introduced her to a girlfriend, so why not? Let's do a marriage contract. The next stop was Paris, and what a wonderful city it was. As soon as I went to Pierre's home, though, I realized why his mom was worried about him not finding a girlfriend. Pierre was a video game nerd. I wanted to be out in the city of love, eating croissants and cheese, and he just wanted to play video games in his room. Our wedding was super lame. Pierre didn't have any friends and spent most of the party playing his stupid games. I didn't care. My plan was to study French with his mother. I became pretty fluent in 2 months. And then as planned, I divorced him. Soon after, I found a job in a bakery and I loved it. One day while I was serving a customer, a Chinese guy entered and asked if we could talk. He was so sweaty and nervous, and I wondered what he had to say to me. Pierre told me you marry people, right? Oh, yes, that's me, the girl who marries. The Chinese guy's name was Lang, and he needed a bride. He had a secret love story with another girl his parents didn't like, so he needed marriage as a cover for it. So that's how I flew to Shanghai and married my 4th husband. Lang was sweet, and his family was super happy that he was finally married. We lived in an apartment in downtown Shanghai where I had all the time to study and learn Mandarin. Everything was going perfectly till I opened Instagram one day and saw Jessica's update about traveling to her 6th country. Oh no! I needed to speed up. I asked Lang for help, who had an idea. I could find guys through wedding agencies and marry as many as I wanted for the honeymoons. That sounded perfect. The day Lang and I divorced, my mom called. She was worried because I'd been away from home for too long. I told her I was having the most incredible time of my life, and I hung up the phone because it was time to meet my next husband. My 5th husband's name was Ling Wei, and we had a fake wedding certificate because dealing with that many divorces started to be annoying. So we had our honeymoon in Thailand, and it was terrific. I think I had 4 different fake marriages in China, which gave me the opportunity to go on honeymoons to Indonesia, Japan, Australia, and Korea. Being with so many Chinese guys, I'd really perfected my Mandarin too. I was really moving forward, but slowly, I was getting tired of it. After my 9th marriage ended, I was emotionally exhausted. I needed some alone time in one place. So I shut myself in my apartment in Shanghai and refused to go out. I only opened the door to get my food deliveries and turned down all my phone calls. In the darkness of my room one day, I realized it was my 21st birthday. 3 years had passed since I left home, so I decided to call my mom and dad. When I finally explained why I'd left, they were really upset with me. You're a terrible daughter, Kathleen. While you've been away having fun, we've been sick with worry. Don't come back now. Keep living your crazy life. That day, as I was eating my birthday cake alone, I realized how my actions had shaped my life. My parents hated me, and I'd married 9 guys but never found love once. At that moment, I received a phone call from Lang. I know you're sad, but your 21st birthday is a big deal. We're going out, Kathleen. So, after a long time of being cooped up in my apartment, I put on some makeup and a cute outfit and went out. Lang took me to a lovely party on the roof of a skyscraper. We danced for hours and had a lot of fun. But when the DJ put on a romantic song, people started dancing in couples, and I felt alone again. I wanted to leave, but Lang stopped me. We started dancing, and I felt something I never felt before. Were there butterflies in my stomach? When the dance ended, I actually felt bad. I wanted to be near him again. I started hanging out with Lang more often. We had so much fun together, and slowly, my feelings had turned into a full-blown crush. But Lang had married me so he could date some other girl in peace. What about her? My doubts were cleared when one day, Lang and I were going home from dinner, and he kissed me. I asked him, "What about that girl you were with?" "Oh, it didn't work out with her. I was a little too busy falling for you." Oh my God! Lang was falling for me? I threw my arms around him and kissed him, my heart soaring. We started dating for real this time. He was my first real boyfriend. For a while, I'd really regretted my stupid competition with Jessica, but it had led me to Lang. Being with him gave me enough self-confidence and strength to do something that I was putting off for a long time. I was going to go back home. I promised to come to China soon, and he promised to come see me. Ha! Okay, whoever makes it first. We will see each other soon. I was crying when I said goodbye to him and flew back home. When I met my parents and finally apologized, I thought they were going to get mad, but they ran to me, hugged me, and started weeping. "Oh, we're so happy you're okay. I'm so sorry about what I said. You're always welcome home, baby." I hugged them back and we cried buckets together. When Jessica showed up, she started mocking me right away. Is the little loser back? Are you crying because you finally accepted I'm better than you?" Her jokes had zero impact on me. "I'm not competing with you anymore, Jessica. You're not worth it. No one is." From that day on, I focused on living my life the way I wanted to. Lang joined me at home a few months later, and my parents just loved him. We got married at an adorable ceremony, and even my past husbands attended. Jessica was super jealous of me that day too. What is this? Husband number 10 for you? Maybe, but he's definitely the last one. I kissed Lang right on the lips, ready to start the rest of our lives together.